I thought was
okay. I'm using my iPad for the first time, guys. Siri, can you guys connect me to Postmortem? Hello, hello. We're gonna review Missing. Hello. You guys will understand when you see the movie.
There you go. I have to. There you go. Now, Katie, you just gave me exactly what I'm going to put next to my name. Okay, got it.
I always forget to rename myself. I can never think of anything as clever as you.
Let's see.
Jeez.
Siri, have everyone watch Missing.
Yeah. All right. Well, looks like Katie got her hair done.
Yes, looks very
nice.
nice.
I got my hair.
Got your hair did. All right. Well, it's good to have you guys back already. Another episode number 2 for 2023 Postmortem Radio. It looks like, I mean, from the looks of things, the horror suspense kind of thing is really taken off here in the first beginnings of 2023. So we thought we had to jump right in. And ever since I saw the trailer for Missing, I've always been a big Nia Long fan. All the way back to Boys in the Hood, so I mean, I thought it was great to see her in another, major role. So seeing the trailer, I thought, wow, this looks really, really good. It really hooked me. And Janelle said the same thing. We couldn't wait to go see this movie. So, we actually, I know Katie got to go see an advanced screening. We went to see it.
Yeah, of course I saw it in the theaters. I mean, Lifetime TV didn't have it on yet, so I was waiting for it.
It did sort of have a bit of a Lifetime movie feel to it in parts, especially the runtime. That was one of the major things. As I was kind of alluding before we started, Janelle never falls asleep or dozes off during a movie, and she was out in this. It was so, especially towards the middle. It could have at least 20 to 30 minutes could have been shaved out of this film, and it wouldn't have deviated. It wouldn't have taken anything away from the story, I don't feel. But I don't know. Well, what do you think, Katie? Did you enjoy?
I enjoyed it immensely. I know we will probably do some spoilers. There's one spoiler. There's one spoiler at the end, like when we talk about the film, when we get closer to the end, about there's a spoiler that's also, I thought, a fault in the movie, but it's also a little thing I want to talk about because of that, because it's something that I was thinking about when I was getting ready to do this review, that that just honestly blows me away how this is just a brand new age of stuff going on. But then there's also a major fault that none of my other critics figured out. So I'm gonna let you guys see if you guys picked up on it too. But I thought it was great. I really like Searching. I love John Cho. I love Nia Long in this, but I mean, obviously the main star of this film is Storm Reed. And I mean, This is a star-making performance for her. I do feel like a lot of the films that she's in, though, there's some sort of yelling, like when she was Idris Elba's daughter in the Suicide Squad. And then when she was in The Invisible Man, there's a lot of yelling going on. But hey, whatever. She's a young Al Pacino. Good for her. But this, what I really liked about this film is that immediately it sucks you in. It sucks you in this cute little family at this house, and the dad's nose is bleeding. So obviously we're all thinking like, he's not in the picture. The next scene, which is like 13 years later. So, and the daughter says that he's passed. She's mad that her mom is like going on this vacation with her new boyfriend. And her mom is played by Nia Long. And by the way, I need to give a shout out to the actor that plays the boyfriend, Ken Long. He plays Kevin, amazing character actor. He's been in so many things.
Yes.
So many things. You'll everyone who sees this film will know his face. If they don't know him from Lost, they may know him from Old. I mean, his IMDb page is huge, but it's nice to see him in a role where he has more of a significant character that has like that's a huge part of the film. And I mean, you know, like Searching, this is not a regular you know, shot just from a camera. It's shot from cell phone, the doorbell cameras, all that stuff.
Security cameras, yeah.
Security cameras, which watching this also freaks me out because it's like, it really is 1984 Big Brother. And this shows it in the positive way, but man, this could definitely go in a negative way, which I'll get into later when we do the reveal. I loved the scene where as soon as mom leaves the boyfriend, June, who is Storm Reed, she has this major party. Everyone's on TikTok and Instagram and everything. And at one point they're showing her in the living room. Everyone does and everyone has this time lapse of an image of her, which I just thought was gorgeous in the living room. As she's like, you can see her contemplating like what's going on. And I thought that was amazing. And then she throws up, and then you know, the next morning she has to clean up and pick up her mom and boyfriend from her boyfriend from the airport. And again, it shows, wow, you could have a major party that trashes your house and anything is available on the internet. Like you could you can have someone clean up your house that looks like a pigsty and do this while you go and do that. I'm like, I mean, it's technology and the future is amazing. And when mom does not get off the flight and she has to try and figure out what's going on, it's interesting to see her path. It's also very, I thought it was a little, I mean, I know they're doing it for, you know, theatrical purposes, but it kind of worried me that June was able to figure out stuff that the FBI wasn't, which I'm like, okay, government money at its finest, which I know that is for theatrical purposes. And then, you know, when you find out actually who Kevin is, who he's a criminal, he's this and that and all that stuff, and it's not necessarily the love match that we thought. You find a little bit more about the history, the different, there is a scene though that I thought was very like it's one of those things when an actress is supposed to be lying, but it was very much like, wow, you're so lying that it's like almost bad acting lying. It's like, we get it. I know you're not telling the truth, but come on, you're a trained actor. You could do a little bit better and make me not think that you were obviously lying on that. But yeah, I loved the way they were able to figure out stuff using the different things in Colombia. Again, the security cameras, those damn doorbell cameras, which freaks me out. But it's just amazing using all of this technology to make this film. One thing, I'm going to see if did you guys notice any kind of continuity thing that was, I thought, a big mistake at a huge, like almost an extreme point in the film?
You mean like, spoiler alert, the dad shows up after 13 years?
Actually, no, not that. Not that one. When June was calling her buddy Javi in Colombia, when she was, spoiler alert, when she did find her mom in the old house. Yeah, so Colombia, and I believe they're in California. Colombia and California are either the same time zone or maybe 2 time zones off.
Oh yeah.
When Javi, when June calls Javi, it is bright as day. It is
has him waving.
Yep.
And then when she's at the cabin, it looks like pitch black midnight. And I was like, that's just sloppy. I mean, whoever did that, I mean, obviously has not done geography, and they're not, I mean, that's just a small thing. That was a small thing, but I picked up on it, and I just want to see if you guys did.
I picked up on it as well, and I got to say, yeah, it is a bit sloppy, but I looked over, there was 2 editors on this film, and honestly, neither of them, from what I read, have necessarily the experience to be able to put a film like this together. And I'm kind of curious, if you were to ask the directors or ask the producer, Tamir, who's the main producer and mind behind Searching, who really edited this film, because there's a lot of bells and whistles to it. But that was one of the things I noticed about it, is the fact that the daytime is there. And you know what? Sometimes that happens. No doubt this film probably wasn't made for a lot of money. It made a little under 10 million in the opening weekend, which is probably good for it. But it was one of a handful of stuff I noticed when it came to it.
Yeah. The other spoiler, I'll wait and let you guys say your stuff, because then I have a little message to go along with that. And the mistake that I saw, it's a spoiler mistake that goes along with it. But what did you guys think? I thought it was great. I'm telling people to go see it. And yeah, just clear your history, and take out your voicemails and call your, mom and dad, and just tell them that you love them, and, make sure you pick up that phone call.
I mean, I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. My issue, I thought it was entertaining, but my issue, a couple of them were, nothing happened that I didn't expect. Nothing. I kept expecting some kind of twist, some kind of curve, something. I mean, I was even there, telling Jen, I was like, oh, you know what it's going to do? It's going to turn out that she's the one who really is the con person, and, set this up to she disappear or whatever. And, that I thought that would be an interesting kind of plot twist if it wasn't that she was taken, but she staged the whole thing, and it was Nia Long ended up being the bad guy per se. I thought that would have been great. I mean, the other thing that I kind of picked up on that I thought was kind of odd, you mentioned her, always calling Javi. She didn't have enough money in that account to continue to keep paying someone, because he's not going to just keep doing this for free. I mean, he's on that site.
Oh, he's invested though.
He's on that site. He even, I mean, he needs money. Okay. I mean, he's on that site to make money. Is no one else hiring a dude? I mean, you can't tell me that he's just going to spend how many days and how many hours. And, I mean, she paid him to go to check the hardware stores. Okay. He did all that. I mean,
he bought a lot of gum. Stop. Okay. He bought a lot of gum.
Yeah. Well, that's another,
he did.
Again,
he bought a lot of gum.
That's another expense. So another reason why I think he would have been said, okay, yeah, you want me to do, I need to keep, you need to keep paying me for this. I'll help you out. But I mean, I don't know, that was one thing I was kind of like, why is this guy just going to keep doing this for nothing?
Here's the thing. If there wasn't the whole side story with his son and how his son's not talking to him and stuff like this, I would agree. But since they put that layered, aspect of Javi in, he felt like this was like, she was like that surrogate child that he failed. So he wanted to try and do whatever he could for her. That's what I got. Because then when they got in that fight, and she's like saying that nasty stuff, and he's like, okay, bye. That's why I think he was doing all this for her, and like trying to, because he wished that, if he went missing, that his son would do the same thing. But it got to him. He realized that's probably what he wanted. So it's like, I'm hoping that maybe if I do this for you, then I can help possibly be a hero.
So the Good Samaritan. Reasoning.
Which would that, I mean, is that far-fetched these days? Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But I think that's the reason why he did it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but not sure that I buy it.
Yeah.
That's just me. That and then the obvious that I think a good 20 to 30 minutes of this film could have been eliminated without taking anything away from the plot or the movie itself. I mean, it was just too long. It really was. I mean, Janelle never falls asleep, and she was out. I mean, it's just, I think a good at least 20 minutes could have been trimmed out of there. I did like though how it was shot, kind of like you were talking about, Katie. I mean, they showed it from like her computer's point of view, and she's I thought it was hilarious when she's like, "You're not writing this down. Why aren't you writing this down?" She pops up the sticky note, and it's just blah blah blah. So that she hears her typing, and it was so. I mean, I was like, that looks like something I would do. If my mom said that. But it is very. It starts off very believable, and everybody can relate to want to throw a kick-ass party when your mom and your parents are out of town. I was at first I was like, when it said, how much stuff do you want? Whatever's cheap. I was afraid she was buying drugs, but at least it was just booze. And it was kind of funny because I never would have thought to go online to try to find somebody to come and clean up my house to after my friends trash the house before my mom comes home. That was pretty clever.
The future is amazing.
Yeah.
I will say with so many things that go in film where you have the angsty teenager, which I actually then end up hating, especially in horror films, because they're the ones, or some sort of film where it's like, come on, you need to come with me. It's like, no, it's like with that defiance and just being so loud. I'm glad that she was angsty in the beginning. It wasn't that obnoxious, like, thank you for being a 17-year-old birth control for me. She got a little lippy with some people and stuff like that, which is, she's upset, so there's stress and all that stuff. But I'm glad it wasn't the the norm movie teenager and stuff like that, because that is a trope I'm so sick of.
Yeah. And I liked it. They took that. We've seen so many times where and especially in Lifetime movies where the kid goes missing and it's like they play on the parents' worst fear. But this one kind of flips the script, and it's the parent that gets, is gone, and the kid's trying to figure all this. So I did kind of like that they, at least as far as that aspect goes, it was somewhat a little original. I mean, there's obviously other movies that have searching and things like that that are similar, but at least it wasn't the same old, the preying on the parents' fear,
Yeah.
Wow. I guess I get to have the first one of the year where I sit here and act like the old man. Okay. So I'm not going to say I hate this film. I didn't. I went to it. I enjoyed what I saw there, but I mean, take the formula and flip the formula from Searching and, have a very unbalanced character in June where she's this technological whiz that is just is just Scooby doing this shit and going ahead and, doing all these things the FBI can't do because of the power of love, even though she hates everybody. Come on. I mean, I hate sitting here and crapping on films, even though I seem to enjoy it quite a lot. But, it takes a lot to be able to make a film. I said this last episode and I've said it before. And I remember at Fantasia 4 years ago, no, it's gotten more than 6 years ago, whenever Unfriended Dark Web came out, I sat there with Steven Susko, who directed that film. And I talked with him before the screening about how difficult it was to be able to take all that kind of footage, all those different types of cinematography, all those different types of camera, and to put that into an edit. Now, as I said before, it doesn't seem that the two editors, and it's never a good thing when there's two editors on the film usually, because it means someone is not doing their job. And maybe I'm wrong, but usually that's what it is. And it's never good because there's a lot of unbalance when it comes to this film. There's unbalanced predictability. Spoiler alert, Dad returns and he's the bad guy. And what would have worked better for me, I realized that most of the stuff, Oz, I agree with you, is very predictable. If they didn't just happen to have the webcam perfectly framed where Dad comes in and follows around, come on. I mean, you really have to suspend your disbelief for this film, and that's why I put JK, serious guy who believes it all, because guess what? It gets to a point where this is, a Lifetime movie on a bigger budget, on steroids, I guess you could say. It's got more polish. It's got bigger names in it, but it does have some names you haven't heard from in a while. And it was great. I agreed to see Nina Long back, but Joaquin de la Mente, I believe is his name, who played Javi. He is fantastic. He's one of the few highlights. Yes. He's funny. He's emotional. He's caring. He's that father figure for her in it that she doesn't have, and that confident as well. And for me, the movie at best is good. It misses a lot of beats for me because of the predictability, but it is what it is. It's a standalone sequel to Searching. That's what it is. It really is. And I thought Searching was a far superior movie. And it's the same directing team. There's a lot of the same people back for the same producing team for the most part, who's back for this. But I look at this, and this is a huge step down for me from where Searching was. John Cho feels so much more authentic in his emotion, in what's going on. There isn't as many moving pieces, which I think is a huge problem for this film. Not only the fact of shaving off, but there's all these red herrings. I mean, Hitchcock was probably rolling over in his grave watching something like this, because it gets to a point where, you want to throw those breadcrumbs out there. You want to throw those red herrings out there, but it becomes too much after a while. And then the third act, which, I'm not necessarily sure how much of the third act you really needed, turns into a completely different movie. So it's off balance. The tone seems to shift a little bit. And I have a big problem with it. I sat there with Susan. We both watched it. We didn't fall asleep, which was nice. And I've fallen asleep during some of the movies last year. I'm 46 years old. What do you expect? I'm an old man, But with that being said, why this movie did keep me, for the most part, interested, I kind of lost my investment. And I'll be the man, the man on the front porch. Get off my lawn. Stereotypical carbon copy June bug. It's the same old stuff. You want to watch, and they don't even do that well. They don't do that well. If you want to see a great movie where you want to see all the kids die, see Game of Death. Came out like 16, and it's fantastic. It's a movie where they take beautiful people and you're just waiting for them to die, according to this board game. This one, she's just annoying. I'm sorry, she is. And I'm glad that they expand the characteristics. I'm glad that they have an open mind on casting, which is awesome. But it doesn't work for me for the most part. And, no matter what they try and do for this, there's beats that obviously, stick with me. I say, oh, okay, I'm glad I saw that. But overall, it falls flat for me. There's too much going on. It's too off balanced, among other things.
I'm glad you brought up Joaquin de Almeida, who plays Javi, because he's been in, similar to Ken Lung. He's been in so many things, but
so many.
But the thing that I thought was a little bit refreshing in this was that we actually get to see him play a good guy. He's just a decent guy. He always gets cast as the Mexican drug cartel leader, or wait
a minute, how do we know he wasn't in this though? Maybe he was trying to make some extra money with Uber. Okay, come on.
Well, yeah, after Dom and Brian stole all of his money in Brazil, so he had to come up with, he went into the kidnapping, the K&R business. But no, I mean, he's such a great actor too. I mean, I mean, he's been in so many things, but like I said, the only downside is that he always seems to get pigeonholed for the bad guy, the big bad guy. But yeah, I thought it was good to see a different character for him to play, showing that he's got the acting chops and the seasoning to be able to play more than just, you know, that the head cartel bad guy. And hopefully that'll lead to more roles for him, and he won't continue to be pigeonholed into that kind of a role.
Okay, are we gonna go into like full spoilers now?
Let's do it. Let's just.
All right, let's do it. So the major problem that I had, and here's a spoiler. Like I said at the beginning, you know, we see Dad's nose bleeds, so it's a home movie, and June's watching it, so she's thought that her dad is dead, and she even says that she doesn't remember the funeral, and she was so young, and all that stuff. What we find out is that mom had like taken the home movies, and Dad was actually a wife beater. He was a drug mule. He was a drug dealer. She set him up so that he was going to go to jail. I figured that out. That doesn't seem like, I didn't know it was I didn't know if it was exactly Dad, but I definitely knew once we find out that Kevin's in jail and somebody else, there's like a third party. It's like, okay, obviously it's someone that she had in jail. Now I'm wondering if Dad's actually dead. And this is the thing that I thought was another fault with the movie. I understand that she's got to go into like, you know, some sort of hiding, and the mom has to change her name and all that stuff. But I do not know any case when you have a mother with kids where the kids don't change their name too. And with everything in social media today, I mean, it's like June is not necessarily a very popular name and stuff. So I thought that was a major flaw. But to get on my soapbox though, I have to hands down, ladies who are trying to get away from your anyone to protect your kids and all that stuff. I honestly don't know how you do it in today's age with social media, with all that stuff. If you have kids, if you have teenagers and they don't understand what's going on, it's already hard enough, like, you know, trying to survive with your family, keep them intact and make sure that, you know, you're away from danger. But this is a whole new world with stuff with kids wanting to put their face out there and doing all that stuff. And wow, more power to you. Like, I don't know how you do it, because that was one of the things watching this. It's like, this doesn't make any sense that the mom would allow her daughter to be like on TikTok and all the social media stuff, because again, I would figure that the dad would be able to find her from that. I mean, Nia Long is a very beautiful woman. Their child like looks very much like them together. And and especially when you keep that her name is June, which I don't think is a very common name. I don't think that's, you know, I thought that was a major flaw in the movie.
You know, Katie, I think you're missing the bigger picture. Caesar the cat. Why wasn't he renamed too? Come on. All right. This is a little ridiculous. I mean, what's even more surprising, spoiler alert, is that the dad all of a sudden is the technological wizard who's been pulling all the strings and tapping into her Chromebook or her Apple iWatch or everything else. I will say this, though. And this, Katie, goes to what you had said about technology. It is exceptionally scary how many different avenues this goes down, including, you know, the really smart filmmaking, storytelling cues with the Apple Watch. You know, it's a really good device that they use in here to kind of, you know, wrap up the story and push it forward. But it's really kind of scary to see all the technology and how, you know, no matter where you go, and even if you were to get off the grid, it won't matter because your digital fingerprint is always there. And all they have to do is put the piece together. Now, maybe it is a testament to how smart this generation is, just like the generations before who didn't have technology were smart in other ways. This generation here can go ahead and find you. One of the things I was waiting for was like the deep faking with different faces. I'm sure they're going to do that for, we had searching, we had missing. Next one will be found, maybe, I don't know. We're coming up with one word titles associated with whatever, caper they're going to be doing next. But the technology is scary as hell, and that's one of the true horror elements of this. That's what, if you're looking at why it works and why this subgenre of technological horror and virtual horror is so scary, but also so prevalent, and people go to see it. Because this movie, will probably make double digits when it comes to the box office domestically before it goes, and that's a great thing because you want to support genre storytelling. But man, the subgenre of technological horror, it's really scary stuff. And whether the story is kind of ridiculous or not, which again, I think it's pretty ridiculous in a lot of how it balanced, the technology and how they're able to do everything, even if it's really annoying, is really great. And again, I was talking a little bit about the errors before. Whoever edited this film, well done in putting together all the pieces, because it's a challenge.
Siri, don't let anyone take me.
That depends. Are you going out to dinner? Are you going for a drive? Are you going to the airport? That's another thing. Katie, you say it with tongue in cheek, but it's really smart how they get rid of Nina Long's character. They don't allow much room or expansion, and then they expanded out to Colombia because of where they're going for the vacation. But for those who, one of the different elements which I really did enjoy was how they brought in the woman to play the double.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I thought was really, really good in the way that they did that, because that's one of the few things I did not get. That was not predictable for me, at least for me. When I saw that, it started to come together as we were going through the pictures in the same time as June was going through. But it was a really good and really smart way to do that. And it's really truthful, because there's people who really do that. And that's one of the scary things about this, as well as it's scary that it took 2 hours to figure out the password. Come on. She figured out everything else. She couldn't figure out the password. So.
Well, and the other thing is that I feel like when you find out that Nia Long's character that we think we've been seeing all this time, all week, and doing all these pictures is not her. And when the movie reveals that it is some woman that Kevin hired, that's an actress. And when they find her, I feel like that opens up doors. It's like, well, he said we were doing a reality TV show. I mean, I just thought that's what this was. And I'm watching this. I'm like, oh man, I'm just waiting for someone that it's like, they're going to do something crappy. They're going to get caught. And immediately this is going to be their alibi.
Well, I will say this, and this goes in cue with Halloween 2018. Tonight, horror streams tonight. Because it's the same thing. It's the same premise. We're going to see a serial killer. We want to get him on the podcast because we want to be famous. Same thing here. And there are so many people out there who are willing to do anything to be famous. And that's the scary thing when it comes to
it.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
I'm doing this with my new iPad, so bear with me. I don't know if am I too close? Is this too close?
Wait, hold on. Is that your chin or is that a body double's chin? I can't tell.
Is this good? Is this good?
Oh my God. Wait, okay, hold on.
Is this okay? Is this okay?
Oz, I'm not sure that's her. I think we should get off the line. Okay.
I think we need to call the FBI.
So
well, I say see it. I do think, with January usually being a dumping ground for movies that studios have had, and they just want to get rid of them and all that stuff. I feel like January 2023, actually, I think January 2022 too. It's solid what studios are putting out now. And my theater was packed. I know everyone got excited in the audience and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's giving me hope that, everyone keeps saying that no one wants to go to the movies anymore. And honestly, the last movies that I've gone to have just been packed. So, and this is only in theaters right now. I say go see it because I think it's a good time.
Yeah, I thought it was enjoyable. I mean, like I said, it's good. It's a good film. I wouldn't say it's great, but if you're looking for something to be entertained, I say go see it. it's a good film. I mean, it's got its issues, sure, but go in, turn your brain off, just check it out, just enjoy it, and like Jay said, you're gonna have to suspend disbelief a little bit, but overall, I mean, it was an enjoyable film, and I say it's worth. I mean, if you're a movie buff and you enjoy the theater experience, go see it.
And that's what, you know what, Oz, that's what I'm going to follow up with. If you have nothing better to do, you've changed your shelf paper, you've went ahead, done your grocery shopping, you've checked all the missing ads on milk cartons to make sure that everything is okay.
You shoveled your driveway.
Exactly right. You know, you watched the USFL coming up, you know, if you've done all that kind of stuff, then if you have the time, go see the movie, because there's going to be a lot of horror coming in. In fact, there is almost a horror film every single week for the next month, which is wonderful during this time, and some really exciting stuff. But what I'm going to say is this: don't go for the story, because it's you watch on Lifetime. Go for the fact of the technological, the
Yes.
technique. Go for the sound design. Go for the fact of how well they mesh cinematography styles. How, you know, you can have the different framing and the way that they pull off, whether it's dealing with more traditional cameras, whether it's dealing with the smartphones, whether it's dealing with the doorbell cameras, how they use it, how they piece together like a puzzle, because it really is a puzzle with this film. You know, it's the same picture you've done 100 times, but it's a more complicated piece to be able to put together. And they really do a tremendous job on this. You know, if you go as a filmmaker to this, you'll probably learn a couple things, which is one of the things that I try and go with every film that I do, going in there to be able to see, you know, whether it's you know, cinematography, the post-production, the direction, whatever it is, that you learn something. And you can definitely learn. And this whole subgenre of technological horror, suspense, and thrillers, you can learn how to piece together a very impressive narrative, whether it's predictable or not, using all these different styles, all this technical aspect to it. So go if you're looking for that. Otherwise, you don't really need to go and see this. You can just tune in the Lifetime. You know, you have films like A Knock at the Door that's coming out. You have Fear that's coming out, among others. So there is a lot of great films. Plus, I had a full theater. I saw this past weekend, The Sun with Hugh Jackman and Laura.
I want to see that. That's not a horror film, though, is it?
No, it's a very thick drama.
Because I saw the trailer and
with a
I want to see
punctuation
that.
point.
I saw it and I was like, man, I really want to see that film. I mean, I like Hugh Jackman anyway.
You'll be okay seeing the Lifetime when it comes on Lifetime. But I also saw Women Talking, and
yeah,
that was fantastic. It was a little bit slow in the middle for me, but it had an incredible message. It's adapted from the book, I believe, and it was definitely something that, you know, people of all walks of life, races, genders should see, because it's a really interesting character study in a situation that is unique. Let's put it that way. So
horror. Let's talk about a horror situation in that.
Yes, very true. Very fluid.
Yeah, that was my number 5 film of the year. And I recently did a podcast where that was my The Ensemble of Women was my number 3, my pick for my number 3 top female performances of the year, because I couldn't say one outshined the other. I think they're the ensemble, like everyone, the veteran actresses that are just amazing character actresses that have been in so many things. The way I mean, there's always a chance that they may get nominated for an Oscar tomorrow. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think everyone kind of like crosses everybody out, but I think Sarah Polley should get nominated for Best Director. And I definitely think that it's going to get nominated and winning Best Adapted Screenplay, because it is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, as Jay said, it's a film that everyone should see.
So go there instead of seeing Missing.
I mean, if you have to, I'm not going to disagree with that. I'd rather people see Women Talking than Missing. But I mean, I liked Missing, but yeah, Women Talking is just an exceptional movie. But I'm very excited about Brandon Cronenberg's new movie
Yes,
coming to
Pool.
theaters this Friday. Infinity Pool, I believe it is. Yep. I'm planning on seeing it this Friday. I'm very excited. Possessor was my number one film of 2020. I loved Possessor. Oh, I loved it. I love what it said about how women have to choose between family and career, and just the graphic nature of it. And again, I love Andrea Riseborough and Christopher Abbott. I love everything that they're choosing to work in. So yeah, if you guys are up for it, I'd love to talk about Infinity Pool.
I'm sure we will have the opportunity to do it.
I'll take a look. See what I can see. Cause I'm still on the fence too with the Knock at the Cabin. It's got me interested, but I'm like, M. Night Shyamalan is like,
I love M. Night
Shyamalan. Every one of his movies, it's either I love
it's okay,
it
you can hate him, whatever.
And
whatever.
There's no in between. There's no in between. Either I hate it or love it.
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dang is the man. I'll be the first one to say that. Even though he's had a couple duds, I will agree with you on that. You can't fault him for what he does and what he tries to create. And he does some things that, he's not been able to capture the magic in the bottle from the beginning part of his career. But he's a quality filmmaker, and he's going to be one, in my opinion, he's one of the best ones of this generation, because he's done some things that some people, even the masters, couldn't do. And I appreciate that. So, but that's another conversation.
Well, I mean,
if you see Dave Bautista knock on your door, are you going to stop him? No.
Nope.
Harry Potter on roids there with Ron Weasley.
One thing I will say is that, M. Night's not afraid to take chances.
He is
that's
not.
for sure.
I'll remind everyone, see the pitch meeting, Ryan George's pitch meetings on YouTube for Old, and you will really kind of have an understanding of how really messed up that film is and what they did and the chances they took, because you're overwhelmed by the whole element of, it's an island where they age and this happens and that happens. But if you watch the pitch meeting, you get a big kick out and you'll be like, yeah, they really kind of shouldn't have went in a couple of directions they did.
Yeah. I mean, Old was one of my worst that year that it came out. But I think that Shyamalan is, a master of the twists and turns. Like, you always know there's going to be a twist in his film. And sometimes you can figure out, and sometimes, like a half cut body on a tree, maybe you can't. That's like giving away the future. I don't know. But I like the majority of his movies, even if some people don't. I think sometimes, honestly, I think The Happening was miscast. Maybe it's me. I just think anything where Mark Wahlberg has to have some sort of collegiate degree, I can't buy it. That's just me, though. But
I agree with you.
I would agree 100%.
I think if he hadn't been the lead, I think that movie possibly would have done much better. But I like The Happening. I like Signs. I love Sixth Sense, and I love The Visit. And other than Old, I think he took a little break after the last Airbender and came back strong. So we'll see. I will definitely come and knock on your door. I've been waiting for you, M. Night. So let's see what's happening. I'm seeing that next week.
Next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I'm definitely leaning towards, the more times I see the trailer, I saw the trailer of it again before we saw prior to Missing. I'm like, part of me wants to see that. But then again, the M. Night Shyamalan part scares me. I'm afraid I'm going to get in there and hate it. But we'll see. We'll see if I can.
Don't bring that hate into your heart, Oz. Just, go towards the light. Go towards the light of love with the cinema, and just, why we all love movies. It's the hope. It's the hope of film.
Okay, Nicole Kidman, calm down there, okay?
We all
Oh, it's funny. All right, guys. Any final thoughts on Missing?
I dug Missing. I say see it. It has its faults, yes. But it's like I said in my post, like technology scares the hell out of me even before this. This is one of those things that it's like, I mean, it really is, you really, really, really have to have a skill to not be able to find you nowadays with what's going on, and that is frightening. But I think Storm Reed, I thought this was a star-making performance for her. I love seeing these different character actors that we've seen like in 18 jillion films, like really have like bigger, meatier dialogue and roles. But yeah, I mean, it's only in theaters. I say go see it.
I say if you got nothing better to go and do, then maybe this is a film for you. If you're, no pun intended, missing it, you'll be okay. I promise you when it comes to this. But again, as a filmmaker, go see it and see how they mesh styles and they create a really incredible technological landscape for this narrative to be laid out on. So
yeah, I definitely say it's got some redeeming quality. It's got its issues too, but if you're just a movie buff, big movies, and you're looking for something to go see, maybe you've seen everything that all the other stuff that's in the theater right now that you want to see. You just need a couple hours, just to turn your brain off and get away or get out of the house, get away from kids, whatever. Sure, get away from your kids, and then you have to deal with this June kid. But you might be wishing that you were back with yours. But all in all, I mean, it's good. It's an entertaining movie, but it's not going to knock anybody's socks off of it, is what I'll say.
I agree.
I don't, but whatever.
Well, maybe your socks are missing.
Maybe I go barefoot in the sand, so maybe that's it.
Maybe
but look, if we're gonna do that, then if you don't want to see Missing, go and see Women Talking. It is an exceptional film, one of the best of the year. The story is like a horror story that's based on true events and is absolutely it's, as a female, it's just terrifying that these women were put through this, but it is an exceptional film and is Oscar worthy and should be garnering awards. And I definitely will see. I would bet money it's going to get an Oscar for best adapted screenplay. Totally sidetracked.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks for checking out another episode of Postmortem Radio. Drop your comments and things below, and maybe we'll check them out on the next episode. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Hello.
Bye.
Hello.
Bye, Siri.
Am I too close again? Bye, Siri.
All right. Take care of each other. And we'll see you in the next one.